All right, guys, we got to talk a little bit about Nick Fuentes. So as you all know, some goofballs online like to say this line where they said, he's on a generational run. It's a generational. Very weird and fawning and pathetic. You want a generational run? Here's a generational run for you. Ready? There's your generational run. Okay? So it was silly. It was ridiculous. And he was being like, pumped up ridiculously online. All these right-wing commentators were sucking him off. But then it seemed like he was botted. There were all these bot accounts that were sort of like pretending like he's amazing and he's incredible. Why? All because he decided, I'm going to criticize Trump. And it's like, wow, fucking real fucking new thing you're doing there. But he was criticizing him from his right. His argument was like, this guy's not fascist enough. Can you believe that? He should be more fascist. And all the fucking idiots were like, yeah, that's right, more fascist. It behooves me that this thing blew up as big as it did, but it did. Okay. Well, guess what? Since then, he's really pissed it all away in a way that's almost shocking. It actually is shocking. So let's start with this. The other day, Right Wing Watch was able to flag this. He's talking on his show. And now remember, he said during his generational run, he said at certain points like, look, we need to work with people who are liberals or who are on the left. Like there are brothers and sisters who've lost their way away from the true light of racism, which they should like join me in. But he said like, oh, this is who these people are. Like we gotta, they can be allies with us. This is an argument that he made on his show. Well, now I guess he changed his mind at some point along the way. And now he says this about the 38-year-old mom who got shot in the face 3 times for the crime of doing a 3-point turn. Watch this.
And I really have a problem with these people that say that she is, that this is some kind of tragic situation. I don't think there's anything tragic about it at all. I think it's good. Honestly, I think it's good. I think it was good that George Floyd died. I think it's good that she died. She's a complete idiot. She's a typical liberal idiot. Irredeemable, unrecoverable. And people could say, well, that's not Christian. Well, that's the reality.
I'm about Jesus. I'm about the Lord. I'm about Christianity. Well, this isn't Christian. Good. I like that. It's not Christian, even though I'm Christian and I say I abide by those principles. Bro, again, he's not even trying anymore, dog. Like, what is this? This is embarrassing. And by the way, let's be clear. As I've told you guys a million times, this is the difference between us and them. You know how I feel about these people? I fucking hate these people. They are vile, wretched, disgusting, putrid little freaks and cunts and pricks. And I want nothing to do with them. I want them to stay away from me. I think they're evil. I think they're horrible. I think they're immoral. I think they're wrong. But the difference between me and them is, even though I feel that way, I want them to have health care. I want them to have higher wages. I want them to live decent lives. I just want them away from me, right? What's the difference? They look at us and they say, oh, we fucking hate you too, but we want you to be murdered. We want you to be shot in the face by thugs. That's what we want. And that's the difference, is they actively are sadists. They're sadists. They're satanic. They actually want to harm people who are not like them. Whereas we might hate somebody, we might despise them, we might want to stay away from them, but I want this country to be fruitful and healthy and happy. And I want a high standard of living, and I want high wages, and I want free healthcare, and I want things like that. That's it. And never, you can't overlook, let's put it that way. You cannot overlook that huge difference between us and them. Because that's everything. That's the whole ballgame. It's the difference between being a good person and being a fucking evil, vicious, little Weasley prick. Right? That's what it is. All right, let's keep going.
37-year-old lesbian who's out there with her wife blocking ice in the middle of this thing. That's about as irredeemable as it gets. That's a good day. It's one less idiot in the world.
Yeah. So, she's a lesbian, a crime punishable by death, according to this little mongrel. All right, more. Listen to what he says about war in Venezuela. He actually did multiple segments where he grabs his pom-poms and he cheerily, so Mr. I'm tough on Trump, I'm holding him accountable. All of a sudden grabs his pom-poms. Yay, regime change. We love regime change wars against countries that didn't attack us and were not a threat to us at all in any way at all. Let's do that. When I said America first, I mean, let's kidnap Maduro.
I actually probably favor regime change in Venezuela, to be honest. I think that is a perfectly legitimate strategic goal.
I love his smug-ass face as he says it, too. Like, gets him like, well, actually, here's my brilliant idea. It's the same idea as neocons like Bill Kristol and Dick Cheney.
I think that is a perfectly legitimate strategic goal of the United States. We talk all the time about Israel and the war over there, and those are wars that don't benefit the United States. Actually, think it would be beneficial if we had a pro-American regime in Venezuela. Probably would be good for us because of the resources they have.
Incredible. Now, by the way, what he doesn't realize is Netanyahu wanted us to overthrow Maduro because he wants us to be able to get the oil from Venezuela, because that then makes it so that when Iran is under attack from Israel and the US and they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, it won't impact the West as much. So there actually is a reason why Netanyahu loved the overthrowing of Maduro and wanted the overthrowing of Maduro. It makes it so his regime change in Iran can happen easier and smoother. And doesn't know or knows and doesn't care to bring it up. All of a sudden, when it comes to our backyard, as they say, they're okay with imperialism, they're okay with colonialism, they're okay with neoconservatism, they're okay with being bloodthirsty warmongers. They're okay. Because apparently, the standard is, well, it's actually really close to us, so it's okay if we do horrible things now. Nobody ever said, I sure am against this Iraq war, but you know what? If Iraq was closer to us, then I'd be for it. Nobody ever said that. And it's not our backyard, it's our fucking neighbor's house. But they don't care. Okay, so if you're beginning to see the generational run is falling a little flat at the moment, then we get this. Fuentes comes out on the issue of Denmark and Greenland, and he says, quote, just try to stop us. So he's saying the U.S. should steal Greenland, and says to Europe, quote, just try to stop us, to which I replied, this is exactly what Trump and Epstein said when they gang raped 13-year-olds. But guess what? We got a little more on that topic because Nick Fuentes comes out and now suddenly he's pro Jeffrey Epstein. Watch this.
Sometimes you got to be the villain. Epstein's my boy, dude. Let's just be honest. Epstein was cool as fuck. There, I said it. What are you going to do? Go ahead, cancel me. Yeah, I said it. Jeffrey Epstein was cool as fuck. Now what? Go ahead, cancel me. Do it. So sometimes we have to be the villain. Sometimes we have to be on a villain arc. That's okay. I'll be a little unpopular. I've been unpopular before.
So, by the way, funny enough, here's what he used to say. Here's what he said in the wee old times, the dark ages, all the way back on July 13th of 2025. Nick Fuentes said, let us never forget that 1 year ago today, our president Donald Trump was spared from sudden death by God. Trump took a bullet so that he could live to cover up Epstein's pedophile island and to bomb Iran for Israel. So back then, it was a pedophile island, the evil pedophile island that Trump's protecting a guy. Well, like, what the fuck is this? And now it's like, bro, I fucking love Jeffrey Epstein. More. Here we go.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, is it really pedophilia? I don't want to be the one that has to say it.
By the way, so many of us on the left call this. Actually, it's technically a phebophilia, not pedophilia. Well, she was like 14 years old, so she wasn't like she was 5. That's what MAGA. Well, at least she wasn't 5. That's what the new slogan is going to be. MAGA. Well, she wasn't 5. That's where we're going.
Yes, I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay? They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like,
told you. Well, actually, it's a phebophilia, and actually, they weren't 5 years old.
They were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take, but that's not really the issue there. Okay, the issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is.
They're not barely legal. Who else? Somebody else said this too. It was Megyn Kelly was like, Jeffrey Epstein was actually into the barely legal types, like 14. That's not barely legal. That's illegal. What are you talking about? And by the way, you have the 13-year-old Katie Johnson, the 13-year-old. She, of course, told her story, horrific, disgusting, talking about raping underage girls in that scenario, right? But also, there are literal pictures that came out in the Epstein files so far. We only got 1% of them, which do show girls as young as like 9 years old or so, in that ballpark. We also learned he was actually human trafficking them. He had the passports of these underage girls. So you do have girls as young as like 9 years old. You do have some that are super young. But I hate even having to make this point because like 13-year-olds deserve protection too. 14-year-olds deserve protection too. What the fuck are we talking about? But no, now all of a sudden, he's in favor of Jeffrey Epstein. He loves Jeffrey Epstein. So then we get this. A bunch of losers decided, we're going to break the internet, bro. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to get all of me and my like fellow Nazi influencers. We're all going to get together and we're all going to have like this big neo-Nazi party where we're in Miami and we go out to clubs. And so you get Tristan Tate, Clavicular, the looks maxing guy, You have Fuentes, Myron Gaines, the fresh and fit guy who's now just goose stepping and zig heiling all over the place. And you have Sneeko, who, man, what a letdown. He was doing the whole, like, the red pill's dead, the red pill's stupid. But then he leaves the red pill to just go, what, full Nazi? Apparently. And so they're going to a Miami club. Ready? I don't think I could play the music for you because I don't want to get this video copyrighted and pulled down. But you'll be able to see on the screen. So you're never going to guess what song they're listening to here as they're showing up to this Miami club. They're all a boys' night out on the town, and Myron's throwing up, the Hail Hitler thing, and they're all singing along to Kanye West's Hail Hitler song. Look at them. Just a couple boys having a good time, rapping along with Hail Hitler from the paranoid, schizophrenic psychopath Kanye West, who never wants to take his medicine and has ruined his life as a result of it. Nobody's ever seen a harder fall from grace than Kanye West. So you got these freaks showing up, playing Hail Hitler, Kanye's song. Okay, ready? This gets funnier and funnier as we go here. Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, Clavicular, and Andrew Tate were at a Miami nightclub, where they then, when they were inside, they also asked the DJ, can you play the Hail Hitler song? So here we go. Again, I won't play it for you because I don't want to get copyrighted. I don't want to get yeeted off the platform. But there's Sneeko singing along to it. There's Myron Gaines having a great time. There's Nick Fuentes standing there in his suit, looking like the lawyer of a lot of these other people who are here. Looks totally fish out of water. And this is the thing, right? It's sort of like what Joe Rogan did to comedy, how Joe Rogan turned comedy into like people like Tony Hinchcliffe, who they're not even trying to make people laugh. They're just trying to be, I'm offensive. I'm a bad man. I said the bad thing. I'm a naughty boy. That's what I am. They're trying to do this thing where it's like, did I offend you? Well, guess what? I don't care that I offended you. How about that, bro? I don't even care. You think I care that I offended you, bro? I don't even care. Why don't you get... You triggered? You triggered, you little snowflake? So now comedy's no longer about, let's try to make people laugh. It's about, let's try to get this reaction from people where they go, that's all it is now. That's all it is. And so, they lost their way where they don't know how to make people laugh anymore. It's just like, I said the thing I'm not allowed to say. And everybody goes, all right, dude, calm down. Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck? And they're doing the influencer version of that online. So this isn't the comedy world version of that. This is the influencer version where, like, so they show up listening to Hail Hitler. Then they go in the club and ask for the DJ to play Hail Hitler, and he does. And it's like, what do you guys want to play it fucking 17 times? We get it. You're Nazis. Calm the fuck down. This is loser shit. This is loser shit. You look like a bunch of losers. Which leads me to this tweet, which I found hilarious. Andrew Tate is 40, gets beat up on TV, as he just did, by the way, and arrested abroad. Clavicular is so insecure. He is made infertile by looks maxing. Fuentes is a self-hating gay man preaching about marriage and children. Myron is a chronically single 35-year-old with a dating podcast. Losers, all of them. And this is how the internet saw it, bro. They thought they were having this epic thing. They were not. This was indeed not epic. It was the opposite of epic. It was cringe-inducing. Then I love this clip. So this is the part where Clavicular says, yo, Nick, I'm going to bring some girls over. And Fuentes goes, nah, I'm good. Watch this.
Yo, Nick, I'm going to bring some girls over for you. I'm good.
Please don't. I'm good. Nick, there's already people talking, dog. Everybody's seen the video of you with the cat boy back in the day. We remember the stream where your stream went offline and then all of a sudden there was gay porn playing and then he came on the next day and blamed it on the IDF. People are saying stuff, dog. They're saying stuff. You also have this kick champ. History was made. Look at all these guys. And the internet had a good time with this one. They then posted this. New Grinder ad just dropped. Oh, man. How many closet cases in that picture? How many closet cases in that picture? I like this one. So again, the same picture, history was made, and then somebody posted the after party. And it's like a 1980s gay orgy. That looks just too perfect right there. And then finally, I'll end with this, with the sad and pathetic downfall of Nick Fuentes, the rapid downfall of Nick Fuentes. Just in, Nick Fuentes has received a 7-figure sponsorship from a company that sponsored Mark Levin. Let's listen.
Nick's saying, you're saying truly, when are you going to take the gold deal? I heard that was a big deal.
I think I'm going to take it, yeah.
I think you should.
What is the deal?
Well, it's just like a gold sponsorship.
Okay.
There people are buying gold, and the reason why I have to take it is because it's Mark Levin's old sponsor.
Oh, okay.
So it's an old Mark Levin gold sponsor, and they said, I don't like Mark Levin anymore. I want to support you. So they're taking his deal and giving it to me. So otherwise, I don't think I would have taken it, but I have to just mod Mark Levin.
I'm selling out for the lulz. I'm selling out because it's funny. I'm mogging Mark Levin by taking the deal that he had and taking the money that he's supposed to get. Get it? I'm selling out ironically. I'm not like actually selling out. I'm just selling out ironically. What do I tell you guys, man? There is no such thing as an anti-establishment right-winger. It's a contradiction in terms. There is no such thing as an outsider right-winger. It's a contradiction in terms. If you're right-wing, your whole existence is to hold up everything about this country which has destroyed it and which makes it shitty. Right-wing politics, by its very nature, is in favor of the corporations, the billionaires, the corruption, the warmongering, and shit like this, selling out, right? That's what being right-wing is. You uphold every single shitty thing about this country, and you have your boot on the neck of the working class. And that's why, as I've told you guys, you'll never see me do that. I've never talked to an advertiser. I never will talk to an advertiser. You guys fund this show from the ground up, and we have the default ads on YouTube, and that's it. I'm very proud of that. And I've had people say to me, oh, why won't you talk to Nick? He's like you. He's totally uncorruptible in it. Please. First of all, he's a Nazi, so I'm not interested in talking just on that alone. But second of all, as I said, they all end up in the same place, bro. First, you start with one deal here, then you get another deal here. Next thing you know, you're swimming in all that money. They're sellouts. They're all sellouts. They're all sellouts. On top of being Nazi white nationalist freaks, also total sellouts. So anyway, man, he went from the top of the internet world where everybody was talking about him and everybody was saying generational run to like just completely and utterly falling apart relatively quickly. But, you know, there's never been a more deserved downfall than this. And it's a very humiliating way to go out. That's for sure.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.